Well, the European Union is a very complex institution, very little known, and transparency create the conditions for everybody, every citizen, to understand what it does and how it actually affects citizens and also the policy process. Well, given the complexity of the EU, I think there is a case for further and strengthened transparency. We need to somehow compensate for the lack of understanding of the average individual by providing more opportunities to actually understand and giving the possibility of the individuals not only to understand and learn about the EU, but also to exercise oversight on what the European Union is actually doing for them or against their interest. There are several ways in which the European Union can go about when it comes to injecting transparency. Certainly the heart of the European Union machinery is about taking decisions. So decision making should be at the heart. We need to know who are the actors involved in a particular legislative file, how a particular idea is coming up of the pipeline of the legislative process, and then we need to be able to track down this particular initiative all along the process so that this will enable anyone to understand which have been the actors, which have been the interests, which have been represented or misrepresented during the process. Well, there are certainly two ways to inject transparency into lobbying. There is a reporting duty, meaning trying to make sure that all the actors involved, they say what they think. And the other way to go, which should be complementary to the first one, is really much about record keeping. So making sure that we have a trace about every single decision, every single meeting that takes place around a particular proposal. And that's what we like to call legislative footprint, is one possible way to obtain such an objective. There are clear constraints to the ability of disclosing the entirety of a particular decision, of a particular document. So we need to accept that there exist these limits, but we should also empower the researcher, the activists, the citizens who would like to know more about who have been the actors to actually go beyond those limits and trying to shape the legislative process in a way that when is needed to understand what it occurred, also the names of the individuals will be disclosed. Documents submitted by lobbyists during the legislative process do represent a real black box. There's no way that the average citizens can learn about what a particular company has been arguing or submitting. So there is clearly a case for creating a record-keeping system that will enable anyone to understand what a particular company has argued, what a particular non-profit, a particular NGOs has argued in the particular process, and this clearly requires a record-keeping system that will enable anyone to look proactively for those data with a searchable mechanism.